look at how the subconscious undermines, limits, or even downright sabotages sales results. We've got to start off with the truth, an uncomfortable one. That is that the wealth creation industry, that's business coaching, mentoring, investing coaching, mentoring industry, have been lying to us for years. You see, when you're doing courses and being trained, they're training the conscious mind. And the problem is it's the subconscious that makes your choices for you as a business owner or investor. So they're training the wrong part of the mind. And that's typically why they have such low success rates. Those people they bring up on stage and show you how well they've done with their courses and training are typically people that have already been subconsciously programmed to do well. You see, the subconscious is the most important thing to look at and understand and reshape if you want to be a great investor or business owner and wealth creator. The subconscious is the powerful decider of your future. Let's look at Tony. As case studies are just a great way of starting to understand these things. So Tony, beautiful man, really warm sense of humor, highly intelligent, IQ of 120, did an MBA, blah, 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 at MIT, champion debater and chess player. The reason I'm sharing that with you is he's obviously a very smart human being. And he was trained by this particular organization who sent him to me when there was some trouble and problems. And this is great, I must say this. There are organizations out there that do understand the subconscious is really important, and they send their clients to me. And so not everyone is not being truthful in the wealth creation industry. But Tony, super smart man, best in class training. This organization, they pay their people a lot of money. And as a result of that, they want to train them really, really well. So he'd had all that training, but guess what? Well, he wouldn't be a case study if he was doing well, would he? He tanked. He absolutely tanked. So the super intelligent, smart man that had been trained so well in selling tanked, and he was devastated. He was ashamed. Felt like a failure. Well, the thing is, it wasn't his fault. It's not your fault either. It's not my fault what my subconscious was programmed with when I was a kid too. But what is my responsibility is cleaning up my subconscious. Really important. It should be your responsibility as well. Hopefully this will help you get on board with this. So it was Tony's subconscious beliefs, which he had no awareness of, but when he would go into a sales situation where he'd have a prospect in front of him, these subconscious beliefs that he knew nothing about unloaded, causing him to choke. Now, I'm a wealth pattern savant, and I've worked for many, many years with wealth creators, and I have an ability to see people's subconscious wealth creation sabotages very, very quickly. And if you understand anything about the subconscious, very few people have the ability to help you see what is in your subconscious. Most people are just blind to what is in your subconscious, as you are. I also run trainings where I've got exercises and tools that can help you identify what is in your subconscious and rescript it. But the organization sent them to me, and basically what I did was quickly establish his childhood programming, childhood input. And basically he loved The Simpsons. For those of you who remember The Simpsons, all the salespeople in The Simpsons always were sort of portrayed as sneaky, greedy, immoral. And he'd be listening to his parents who would talk about used car salesmen, or some the salespeople would be ringing at night and they'd be off the salespeople. So in his subconscious, all these messages that salespeople can't be trusted, no one likes salespeople are immoral, all that type of thing. And of course, what was actually happening is, it's really important to say too, just got the stress thing there, because he's new to this role. And even though he's been trained, once he's in front of the prospect, it's new, so there's already that stress there. The stress itself almost guarantees that these childhood patterns will be triggered. And let's also look at the science here so we can kind of understand this. So he's always stressed, it's new, the prospect is in front of him, and what happens is all the belief systems that he couldn't see, if you actually go to this diagram on the left, you can see the line. It's got salespeople can't be trusted under that, the fear of rejection under that. While he's not in a sales process, he's got no idea that these beliefs are there. They're subconscious to him. They're not in his conscious awareness. He knows nothing about them. He gets in front of a prospect. We can say that line comes out. So now what was in the subconscious starts to arise. Now for Tony, he doesn't have my skills, which is he could just feel the funny sensations. And the funny sensations was he could say, my stomach went tight. I can feel I can't communicate properly. I get sweat. Right? Well, these are all signs of these belief systems coming up, because these belief systems impact your physiology. Now, how do they do that? Well, he's with the prospect, and these beliefs go, the prospect's going to think that you're immoral and greedy. He's not going to like you. He's going to reject you. Look at you. You're being an immoral salesperson. Remember when you're young, you've learned that it's immoral to be a salesperson. You're a bad, guilty person. Now, he couldn't see or hear those belief systems, that those belief systems are arising. And what they're doing is they're setting off his cortisol system, his adrenaline system, his amygdala is being spiked, because now this is threat. I'm a bad person, and this person might think I'm a bad person. At that point, the executive brain function can't be accessed. And the executive brain function is what's been programmed with your good quality strategic and tactical training from your normal business and investing coaches. Okay, but it's offline, can't be accessed. The only thing that can be accessed is these belief systems coming out of the subconscious saying, get out of here, get out of here. Okay? So all he knew was yucky feelings, but that is what happens. This is how these belief systems override executive brain function, intelligence, good quality decision making. So the great thing for Tony is that once we had identified what the input was, we quickly worked out a rescripting process, which was sales as an act of love, that I love by selling because I'm helping. And once we rescripted that, well, everything just changed for him, because as he went and worked with the prospect, he's working in a state of love, help, and kindness to that prospect. And because the threat beliefs had been taken out of the subconscious or had been reprogrammed or overridden with sales as an act of love, sales as an act of kindness, sales as an act of care, there was nothing triggering his adrenal cortisol system and his amygdala. All that tactical and strategic sales training was now available to him. Now, if you want to know what your wealth sabotages are, certainly do this. Get your camera, get the QR code, click it, go sign up. I send really, really good content as my members-only community. It's for those people that really want to understand what's in your subconscious that's sabotaging your wealth creation. Did you know that your subconscious has a blueprint for how much you're allowed to earn, typically based on your class programming? Do you know that your subconscious could be impacting your marketing, every area of business? So this is the only place you're going to find out what your blocks are. And we also show you how to rescript the subconscious with the belief systems of the ultra wealthy. And you get step-by-step tactics of those who run multiple passive business investing systems. Now, for those of you that don't know, I spent my early years as operations manager for the ultra wealthy. And I think in my time with them, I worked for them for 7 or 8 years. We had between 18 and 27 businesses under management. Now, my bosses at that time, when I was young, ran those businesses from the back of a yacht, and I just learned so much from them. I learned how to build businesses that run separately from the owner. Interesting enough, most of you watching this will have subconsciouses that have been trained through the working, middle, and professional class education system. And you were trained to be a resource in other people's income systems. You were trained to trade time for money. And as a result of that, if you're an investor and you or a business owner trying to scale out and build more passive income systems, you're going to find it really hard because your programming is to be important, to be valued, to be needed. Okay, this is really important stuff. And you were programmed that way because those in business want people to work for them working 40, 50 hours a week. And you were told that that's how you would create wealth. Go get good skills, trade time for money, and work 40, 50 hours a week, and then you're going to retire at 60. Well, that's all lies. It's not the way you create wealth. And you've been programmed with that. Well, the ultra wealthy, right, they built out income systems that generated income for them. And they subconsciously train their children to do the same thing. Isn't that interesting? Okay, your parents told you to go to school. I've got nothing at school, but they told you to go to school, get a job to trade hours for dollars, and that's how you would have a good life and be wealthy. And here you are now as an investor and a business owner trying to build out businesses and run separately from you with programming that's designed to make you a resource, not a controller of resources.